the meeting for today, October 21st, a Tuesday, to order for the City Planning Commission.
Okay, Chair Richard Spiker.
Here.
Here. Colin Russ, absent. Commissioner Jason Mazorik. Here. Commissioner Douglas Bizarni.
Present.
Thank you. Director Jackie Spry is here. Assistant Planner Secretary Moore is here. And our alternate member, Carl Anderson.
Here.
Here. Thank you. And we'll amend the roll call box to include Carl from now on.
Okay. First item is approval of the September 16th, 2025 minutes. Anybody have any revisions to the document as distributed? Hearing none, I will make a motion to approve.
Second.
A motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Cooper, any public correspondence or comment?
We have not received any public comment or correspondence.
All right, thank you. Under old business, we'll note that the saldo amendments updates were approved by City Council at the previous meeting and are now in effect. You want to talk about it here or talk about it later?
I think in the department updates.
Okay, we'll do it at that point. Thank you. We'll move on. New business. We have a bunch of subdivision and land development actions. The first one is for Gannon subdivision involving 2030 West 6th Street.
Before we get into those, can I ask the commission to make a motion to amend the agenda to include one additional
Okay.
project?
We had a late submission after the agenda was finalized and distributed, so we have a motion to modify the agenda to add this item.
Mr. Chairman, I would make a motion.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. So we've added another item, the last item. Excuse me. All right. First item, Gannon subdivision, 230 West 6th Street.
My name is Jeff Kidder Architects, and also representing Historic Erie Preservation Trust. Can you hear okay?
Yep.
Just a correction on the minutes here. It says 230 West 6th.
Right.
That's not the property. Cooper, is that?
Yeah, we can change that. What is the? Do you know
It's
the number?
203.
203.
203 West 6th. So Historic Erie Preservation Trust has been working with Gannon to acquire the Carter Shannon House on the corner of 6th and Sassafras, which is known as 203 West 6th, and also to acquire the Frederick Drecke House at 221 West 6th, and with the removal of the Worley Hall dormitory this summer, and our recent moving of the Olds Norman House, which was at 216 West 7th, to now be at the old address of Worley, which is 211 West 6th. All that's been going on, and part of this bigger effort is to move some property lines around. So what we submitted was on the corner, 203 West 6th, we're moving the existing south property line north, making that lot a little smaller, and the part that we're taking away from 203 is going to be combined into the Schuster Theater property. And then at what is the old Worley, 211, we're moving that property north the same amount, and that land is being then combined with the old Olds Norman house property at 216. So we're just kind of moving some properties lines to the north, and that is kind of that's the final piece needed to make this assembly of buildings work for what the trust wants to do and what Gannon wants to do.
Okay. Do we have a drawing that illustrates those? No. Yeah, okay, so they're moving those lines to the north? Okay.
Mr. Kidder, it's about looks like 25 feet, a little over 25 feet.
Correct.
Yeah.
They're
Or-
two
or
different.
35 feet there, yeah, so.
Right.
okay.
Thank you.
Cooper, just a minor clerical edit. Can you send us a copy of, we have duplicates of the cover sheet in our email.
Yeah, okay. Thank you. All right.
But
Anybody have any other questions or comments related to that? Doug, anything? If not,
Nothing from me.
okay, thank you. Can we have a motion to approve the replat?
I'll make a motion.
Second?
I will second.
Motion and a second?
And, Mr. Chairman, and that is with the correction of the address to 203.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right, all in
Thank you.
favor signify by saying aye.
All right.
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Next item, Erie Trinity Church subdivision, 3952 Pine Avenue. Is there anybody here to speak on behalf of that parcel? So, Cooper, what's going on here?
I don't see anybody unmuting online either.
So read this as the residential parcels being separated out in the corner to the southwest corner.
That's what it looks like, isn't it?
They don't need to be here, right?
I think the applicant is supposed to be present.
Is it?
Okay.
It's helpful. I don't think it's,
This one, I don't know.
I don't think it's required that they be here. It's helpful.
I take no issue with it, other than their absence.
Yeah,
Okay.
well, I'll make the decision then. We should table it until requested someone who can explain what's going on, what they intend, shows up.
Was the applicant supposed to, the applicant was supposed to be present?
I don't have any emails saying that they would be here. I don't know.
Do we know anybody that's reviewed the Saldo language recently?
Well, it's not required, but I mean, obviously, the representatives should
Right.
be here to present their application.
I feel like we did them like 5 years ago without, I feel like we did them before, like we were doing them 5, 6 years
Right.
ago. I don't think they were all here.
Does anybody any of the commissioners object to any of this action going forward? Anybody willing to make a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve that subdivision. I think it's clear they're just separating that house out. If you look on Google, there's a driveway that connects to the church that's off of that property line of
Okay.
the house.
I would table it.
You think?
Yeah, because the process is that the applicant should be here to present, and if there are questions from the commissioners, they should be here to present to the application.
Yeah, that's fine.
Mr. Chairman, my apologies, as this being my first voting meeting, but has this applicant not been here at prior meetings?
I don't think we've had any prior meetings with this applicant. I don't think they're required to be here, and I can tell you that the city has also done its internal review, and no issues were raised with this subdivision.
Who's the surveyor? Can you see that?
Jason Robert. It's Verdantis, yeah.
Do you know them?
That's the.
Gotcha. Well, we have a motion on the floor. Is there a second for the motion?
We got it, hold on, Jake's.
I just have one comment to make, just for the benefit of the commissioners, just so you know, I've spoken with the owner, the property owner, quite some time ago. Their intention is to separate the house from the church property.
Right?
And just to let you know that, I've done this own review of looking at the subdivision. There's no issues with setbacks and, lot size and things of that nature. So it passes those end zoning tests. Just want to make sure you guys are aware of that.
Okay. Sure. Is there a second for the motion?
Mr. Chairman, before we move forward, could we, and I know you're saying they're not required to be here, but could we move this down the agenda for the time being and see if we can reach the architect and ask them at least to get on the phone? Would that be a proper procedure?
But just to update you on, since this is your first meeting, the SALDA process that we're going through, this is basically our second meeting of administering this process
Yes.
since it became official again. So it's hard to hold anybody to previous attendance when for the last 6 years this process didn't really exist. So
Yeah. Objection to moving on, we'll circle back at the end.
yep, add it to the end.
All right. Item C, Mercy Center subdivision, 816 West 26th Street. Is there anybody here representing the Mercy Center subdivision?
I'm here. Can you hear me? This is
Yes.
Steve from Laird's. I'm via Zoom.
Yep, okay. Thank you.
Can you guys see the drawings in front of you, or do you want me to share my screen, or what's easiest for you guys?
Cooper's going to share it. can see the plot.
All right, hang on one second. We are proposing a subdivision. If you can see this on the screen, we're looking to subdivide 816 West 26th Street. It's the Sacred Heart facility here. We're proposing to separate it into two lots, as you can see on the subdivision plan that I put back in front here, with a ingress and egress easement going down the center, which is centered upon the driveway here coming off at 26th Street. That easement kind of corresponds with that routing through there.
Right.
It'll create two lots, which separates the church from the school. And ultimately, this second lot, I believe, is being sold to the Mercy Center for Women. I believe it's been reviewed by the zoning office there, and I don't think they had any objections to what is shown on the screen.
Okay,
And I'm happy to answer any other questions if you guys have them.
thank you. Any questions from the commissioners?
Just aware I have to abstain my vote.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion then
Thank you.
that we move forward.
And I will second it. We have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any abstentions?
Cooper, for the record, I have to abstain from this vote.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Okay, item D, McInnes Rolled Rings Land Development, 1533 East 12th Street.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Cooper, if you want to bring up C400, probably a good plan. Yes, my name is Steve Caruso. I'm with Civil and Environmental Consultants, and I'm here representing Matt Erickson with McInnes Rolled Rings. This project is a 42,000 square foot building expansion located on the back side of the McInnes facility site, as you can see there on the drawing. This project is going to include proposed paving, grading, stormwater conveyance, utilities. The project will also consist of an emergency access drive around the back of the building, as well as a fire hydrant loop around the entire facility. So the biggest push for this project is going to be the historical fill excavation on the site. If you want to go to C100. So as you can see on the right hand of the drawing, the historical fill is from the excavation from past expansions. That material is going to be placed on the west side of the site. As part of this project, we will also be submitting a general MPDS submission to the County Conservation District. I've been in touch with them throughout the process, our design process, so they're on board with everything that we're proposing. If you can pull up C300, it shows the overall grading of the plant of the site. As you can see on the west side of the site, that's where the excess material from the excavation will be placed. And as I mentioned, we'll be submitting our MPDS package in approximately 2 weeks. As part of this project, as far as the stormwater management goes, there's an existing detention basin on the site. That basin was actually designed to handle a full build-out of the entire site, I believe in 3 phases. This particular project would be phase 2. So we're able to meet volume, water quality, and rate requirements with that existing basin. And all of the information on our stormwater report was submitted to the city.
As far as the utilities go, we're basically extending all of the existing utilities to the new building. There's existing electric, water, sanitary that would be extending to the existing building. Everything is going to be on site. We don't anticipate any public taps in the streets. We are coordinating with Erie Waterworks on a new hot box for the fire loop that is required. So we're coordinating with them on that. But like I said, all the utilities are going to be private on-site extensions. And I think that's about it. Any questions?
I have none. Carl, anything?
Motion approved?
Okay, we have a motion to approve.
I would be honored to second.
Okay. A motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks to McInnes Rolled Rings for their investment in the city. Okay, we've gone through the items on the agenda. Do we have,
The last edition,
yeah,
the one that we forgot.
one we added? No, I know. I
I
realize
was like, I
that.
don't remember what it was. So-
Yeah. And what's the one we added?
It's, Royal Homes.
Yes, I don't know if you'd like to come talk about the project? Just a little introduction.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My name is Donald Crenshaw. We are the builder, developer for this particular piece of property, and it's been a long time coming. The City of Erie had stated that these plans had to initially go to BIU before they could actually be reviewed by the city, and that's the procedure right now. And that was done back in 2023, early January. After taking the plans to BIU, they reviewed them and stated that we had to consolidate this piece of property. After consolidating the property took place, changing it from 2 lots to 1 lot, before they could actually be reviewed, BIU had to actually stamp them and bring them, and I bring them to the City of Erie. And the city had stated before they could review them, after I brought the plans here, that BIU had to sign them. After BIU addressed us or required us to consolidate these plans, after they were brought here to be reviewed by the city, they then were taken back to BIU in order to be actually signed. After I took the plans to BIU, in order for them to be signed, I brought them back to the City of Erie after taking them out there, after originally being here, for BIU to sign them. BIU signed them. We brought them to the city. The city then reviewed them. And after the city reviewed the plans, they had stated the property had to be now subdivided back from where it originally was. Instead of 2 lots, now 3 lots. I had the property then 30 days ago subdivided back. After the property was subdivided back, we brought the plans back here again for the city to approve these plans so that we would be here today. It is a very frustrating procedure and very stressful. As being a builder developer of the city, I think we built more affordable housing than any other individual for-profit developer in the City of Erie. To go through these exercises, bringing plans here, having them first before they could be looked at, taken to BIU dressing us, telling them we have to consolidate. After consolidating, bringing them to the city reviewing them, saying that, no, you can't consolidate the lot, you have to subdivide the lot, then having to subdivide the lot and bringing them back here. Gentlemen, it's very, very frustrating. As a builder developer, I appreciate the fact that those have done what they've had to do to get me before you today, even to amending and adding it to the procedures for the review. And as you look at the property, we've originally owned the property for probably 25 years. As a builder developer, the project has been funded and approved downstate for 4 years. We're now at the point where we can close, and I just hope that the subdivision, which I call it a replot, really, but because of the new SOLD, whatever the acronyms are for the procedures and what we're going through, I can appreciate it and I can understand it, but I want the board to recognize, as a developer and wanting to build even more affordable housing and to be a developer in this community, we do need to get things coordinated a little bit better, maybe change procedures of, instead of going to BIU first and having them review plans that may need to be reviewed by the city first from a zoning standpoint to see if it meets the requirements, because obvious in this case, we were directed to do something that had to be redone and at a very decent cost. We've had to pay to have it subdivided, consolidated, and then subdivided. A developer shouldn't have to go through those challenges. So as you look at the property, basically 2 lines was added on the original overall size of the property. We will be developing 3 buildings. 1 building will be 4 units of townhouses. The next site in the middle is 4 units of townhouses, which will be 8 townhouses for low to mod income people for rental. The far west property will be a 3-unit handicap livable units. So at the end of the day, the city will receive 11 new properties in the city. We're a for-profit developer, so 100% of tax basis has always been. We're building affordable housing in our community. We've built over 60-something houses in this neighborhood. We built over 100-something in other neighborhoods, but it does seem very challenging when we have to go through these kind of steps, and the most recent being this, that I would just ask that the Planning Commission Board maybe look at the procedures and how they're addressing things that go to BIU, and especially if they go there first, and BIU makes a recommendation that may or may not be correct, that the builder developer needs to have a communication ability between the 2 agencies to reduce challenges like we've had to have on this one.
Well, Mr. Crenshaw, I can't speak to the rigmarole you've been run through, how it came to be. I think that the implementation of the new saldo ought to improve the process. And I think as a commission, we're committed to moving as quickly and as expeditiously as we can with respect to approving the necessary changes necessary. So, it sounds like you got run through the ringer for no good reason that I can understand. And I would, personally, I would apologize for that. I think it impedes the ability of the city to have critical needs addressed. I think you have a long history of doing that in the city. So thank you for that. To deal with this issue, does anybody have any questions regarding it?
Nope,
Mr.
not on
Chairman.
this.
Mr. Anderson.
Mr. Crenshaw, I appreciate the frustrations that you have, and you're sharing those with us today, and working through those frustrations to continue this important project for our community. I also want to thank the professionalism and the staff of the people here at City Hall. I know that ultimately, in the end, we all have the same objectives to move forward, move our community forward in a positive way, and for them to be able to bring this to us, to be able to amend the agenda today. So I want to recognize those efforts as well. Could you just state the size of the project that you're undertaking?
Well, the entire development that has been approved, and we're heading to our closing, and why the importance of this and being on the agenda today is the construction and renovation of 26 units of affordable housing. Development cost is a little over 10 mil, and at the end of the day, there will be 26 people, and 3 of those individuals will have perfect, livable, accessible units. So when you look at the overall size of the project, it's 26 units of new affordable housing that will take place starting hopefully here. November 15th is a closing date that we're shooting for with all approvals, so that come next year, by the end of the year, you will have 26 new affordable housing in the city of Erie.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Well, you're welcome. I'll make a motion to approve the subdivision as presented.
Second?
I have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 I thank you very much.
You bet. Best of luck. All right. So now, having gone through all the items on the agenda, we're back to item B, the Trinity Church subdivision. Any chance to
Yes.
get a hold of anybody?
Yes, can you hear me, gentlemen?
Yes.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I'm Shad Sandell. I'm the surveyor here at Verdantis.
Okay. Can you explain what's under consideration for the subdivision?
Sure. Is there any way y'all could bring it up? That'd be great.
Yep. All right, it's up now. Can you see us? Can you see
Yes, I can.
Okay.
So if you could see that small lot to the lower left-hand corner, correct, that was the rectory for the church. What they have decided to do is to subdivide off the rectory and sell it outright, and then to sell the church property, separately.
Okay. Has this been looked at by zoning at all, do you know?
Yes, it has.
So it complies with all the
Yes.
setbacks and requirements in that respect?
Yes.
Correct, sir, it has.
Okay.
Make a motion to approve.
Another motion to approve. Second one on the show. Is there a second?
I will second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Before we vote, Mr. Chairman, I just want to thank our staff from the Planning Commission and the Executive Director for making the extra efforts on behalf of this
Sure.
project to ensure that we can keep it moving today.
Yeah. Thank you. Agreed. So, all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Motion is passed. So that'll be done. Thank you.
I appreciate you all, gentlemen. Thank you very much.
Thank you for being available.
Absolutely.
All right. No items under rezoning, waterfront conditional use, or blighted property designation. Next item would be the Department of Planning and Neighborhood Resources updates.
This image for me first, if you can find it. If not, I have it printed out. Good afternoon, Commissioners.
Good morning, or good afternoon.
My name is Jackie Spry. I'm the Planning Director for the City of Erie. Also want to give a shout out to Amy Francis, who actually got the surveyor online for that last project, so thank you. I want to start off by just giving you a little bit of a recap from the APA, American Planning Association PA conference that 4 staff attended last week in Harrisburg. It was from October 12th through the 14th, and the theme was Planning the Keystone, Shaping a Resilient Future. So Cooper Moore went, the assistant planner, Hannah Oleski, Liz Reyes, both from Neighborhood Resources, and I went as well, represented a pretty big contingency for the city of Erie. Not a lot of representation from the east side of the state, but we were there, and there were others from Mill Creek, so as well as an elected official was there from Mill Creek. So I think we had a pretty good representation. The conference, I felt, was we were able to learn a lot and bring back some really good ideas to the city of Erie. I just wanted to share with you a few of the sessions that we went to that I think we will be continuing to research and delve into, and also have several connections and meetings around these. We went to a session called Artificial Intelligence in Community Planning, Enhancing Efficiency and Effectiveness for Public Sector Planners. Went to affordable workforce housing, what you may not know. Went to a downtown Harrisburg active transportation infrastructure tour. Harrisburg does have a bike share program, and also was able to see the kind of active transportation that Harrisburg has that hopefully we can bring into our city. We had a very interesting lecture by Jeff Sigler, who was a consultant in Pittsburgh about civic pride and civic apathy. And then lastly, went to a workshop I did on energy and what you need to know and what you need to do. And that had to do specifically around data centers and zoning ordinance amendments. So that's something that I hope to be talking through with you in the next couple of months. We are at a critical time right now to start talking and thinking about this in our community, especially that we're on the lake. Some of the other staff also went to some very interesting sessions on trails, parks, which we're right now in the parks plan, and I know also community engagement, which is very much part of our team. So just wanted to give you a good update, and hopefully next year it's in Bethlehem. Maybe some of you will join us for that conference. Next up, I want to talk about the Saldo amendments a little bit, and Cooper, if you wouldn't mind passing this out to our commissioners. This one, 2 more. That's one. I have 3 copies here. So the Saldo amendments, as you know, we worked on for many months. It was an internal effort along with Michael Baker, our consultants, who worked through these amendments with the planning staff, with Public Works and Engineering, and with our zoning staff at the City of Erie. We had multiple meetings with the Planning Commission. We had a 30-day public review of the amendments, and then we had a public hearing also at our council meeting. Then there was a requirement of 2 votes, and we had no public feedback other than, I think, one comment from a resident that we brought forth to the planning commissioners. And then on October 1st, the city council voted and approved to adopt the amendments in full. And those amendments went into effect immediately. There are times that an ordinance will wait 20 days and then an enactment will occur after the 20-day period. These amendments went into effect immediately, and the mayor signed them actually on October 6th because he was out of the office. But that being said, we are following the amended saldo. What you have in front of you, and Cooper, I don't know if you're able to share it with the public, but this will be up on our website by the end of the week. It says at the top of the page, does my project qualify as a major or minor subdivision? But before I get to that, let me just also mention that replats, which was in the previous saldo, was a process that is now obsolete. So you're either a minor subdivision or a major subdivision land development. And so everything that that comes through the planning department, the first stop is zoning, obviously. If the zoning is not meeting the ordinance, if it's not complying with the zoning ordinance, then that applicant would most likely need to go in front of the zoning hearing board. We would not receive anything until it passes the zoning test. That's really the first stop. So anything that you see that comes in front of you always will go in front of our chief zoning officer and our zoning team, and will be in compliance. However, for the community, for developers, for the architects, for the surveyors, this is our threshold that you see in front of you, and this is in the saldo. It says, does my project qualify as a major subdivision, major land development, or a minor subdivision, minor land development? If you have 5 or fewer dwelling units, you're considered a minor subdivision, minor land development. If you have 5,000 square feet or less, you're also considered a minor. 6 or more dwelling units is a major, and 5,000 square feet or more, 5,000 square feet or more is considered a major subdivision or land development. So what does that mean? And essentially what that means is that if it's a minor subdivision, you can go right to final plan. It still will go in front of the planning commission, but you'll go right to final plan review, and it will come in front of planning commission. If it's a major, then it is required to have a preliminary plan, go once in front of the planning commission, and then submit a final plan, and again go in front of the planning commission. Now, you as the commissioners, you know that you're delegated the authority to approve these plans, so it does not have to go in front of city council. So the buck stops here, right? So I just want to explain the change. That's quite a large change for the threshold in terms of what we are now reviewing, what is now going to be presented in front of the Planning Commission, and what will be transparent to the community as well. Any questions on that first and foremost?
For me, the only thing I would say is one of my questions after listening to Mr. Crenshaw's ordeal was the flow chart.
We're getting to that.
Yeah, so.
Sure. So that's the first step, though, is in determining where you lie and what the process will be. Now, and I know the people watching can't see this, but again, this is in the saldo. These workflows that you have in front of you are in the saldo already. We will have these posted by the end of the week on our website. Cooper, I think, is going to probably pop it up here from the website. But as you can see, these are the workflows that are required per state regulations, actually. We're in compliance with all state municipal planning code requirements. So the minor subdivision, as you see, a pre-sketch plan is optional, but encouraged. We ask that we have some kind of internal meeting. From there, you would prepare a final plan. That final plan submission would go right to the planning department, of course, with a zoning review first and foremost. And then there are 30 days for the city engineer and county planning to review that land development. Within 90 days, it has to be posted and come before the Planning Commission. Of course, that's 90 days that we might not need, but that's the allotted time that is given to the city to get it onto the Planning Commission agenda. And then for a major subdivision, again, a pre-sketch plan meeting, which we've had already for a developer to come in front of the Planning Commission to explain the project, give some preliminary drawings, make the Planning Commission aware of the project. We encourage that. And then a preliminary plan would be submitted. Again, that would be 30 days for review, internal review by the different city departments and the county planning. And then within 90 days, that doesn't mean we're going to have 90 days, but we're given 90 days to get the plans to the Planning Commission. And then, again, a final submittal is required, and the same time period is given for a final plan. So the process, not only do we have workflows, but we then have checklists, which are also part of the amendment and in the saldo as well. Cooper has thankfully simplified the checklist both internally and for developers, for applicants that are coming through this process, and will be given out to an applicant so that everything is on the plan when it's submitted, and we can move forward hopefully quickly and seamlessly. So, Cooper, do you want to add anything? Because you're working in this right now, and you're in the thick of it. If you wanted to add anything to it, what I've mentioned. Did I cover everything okay? Okay. Yeah. So, just a few other reminders about the saldo amendments. The duties were shifted from the zoning department to the planning department. So all applications, all payments will be received by Cooper Moore, who is the secretary of the Planning Commission. Also, like I mentioned, the replatting was amended from the 1989 saldo and is now rebranded, if you will, as a minor subdivision and will require commissioner's approval. And then also the major subdivision and major land development. This has a checklist, and the process is much more spelled out and clear. There are less gray areas in the new amendments. Any questions? I'm happy to continue to reiterate this at our meetings. The plan is that we are going to be working with a local architect in town to have a training session for developers, architects, surveyors, like a webinar maybe, or a training info session, so that they understand the new process and can ask questions at that training session, and hope to have continuing education credits attached to that.
Good. I think that's key, to reach out to the professionals in land development in the region. I think that's important.
Yeah, we hope to do that at the beginning of November.
Okay.
Because this is a new process, our website will be, it will have as much information as we can, but we're here to help the community. We're here to help through the process. Cooper is going to be, this is new to
Yeah.
us, but as we work through it, we're going to work through the pain points, but we're here to help and please reach out.
I would like to just quickly discuss, I think this flow chart is perfect for the Saldo purposes, but it omits, it omits all of the process points that were the busts in the example of Mr. Crenshaw's. There's nothing in here that tells the average Joe, if they were going to develop a property, when they submit to BIU. And
They don't, that came in as a permit application, not as a subdivision. So that was the confusion.
people don't know this. The general public isn't aware. If I want to develop a property, what are the steps I have to do? This only tells part of the story. It doesn't acknowledge all the other steps that you have to do to get the building approved. And that should be there should be another one of these as a customer service product by you guys that tells the average person what every step they need to do and when they need to do it. Because if you look at this, you would never submit a project to BIU until the end, and then you've lost 6 months of time that you could have overlapped this work effort. Because in all reality, every development project, you're designing the building at the same time you're looking at the site design. They kind of happen hand in hand as part of the process.
Yeah, and I think we've looked at the Lancaster example. I think you even sent it to us, Jason,
Yeah.
in terms of sort of the processes that not only are through the Saldo, but also what happens with permitting, and we've looked at that, and we've kept that in our back pocket. I think it's a matter of developing that
It needs to
interdepartmentally
be
as well.
acknowledged in here somewhere that at some point in this process, Mr. Crenshaw or whoever else needs to talk to another entity that is an extension of the city. There's a suggestion, there's other municipalities in Erie County that use BIU, and we as architects don't submit to BIU. We submit directly to the municipality and they forward it to BIU. That's not the process here in the city. Architects and the developers are on their own to deal with BIU directly. So if you don't clean up that process, you have to identify those steps for the public to be aware of them, because it's different in Mill Creek, it's different in Northeast, it's different in Harbor Creek, and they're all using BIU. They just have different arrangements and contracts than the city has. So it's entirely confusing to anybody that doesn't know where these borders are if you don't put that process on your website and tag it to this. This is just the land development part, not the building part.
Noted. And we'll work on fleshing out those workflows a bit more. I do also want to note that once we get word that we've received that MAP grant to rewrite the Saldo and the zoning ordinance in completeness, the hope is that we'll look at those processes during the rewrite of a full Saldo, and we'll be able to talk through some of the concerns that you have.
Other comments? Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
All right. There's nothing else but adjournment. So, motion to adjourn.
Second.
Okay, have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you all.